Hey, this is Scott Welch, Muscle Insider Magazine. I'm here with Dan Kennedy of SupplementSource.ca, and we're doing a review on Optimum Nutrition's gold standard 100% whey. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so listen, before we get into the review, I wanted to ask things like, what do you look for? Obviously, as a coach, you're a competitive coach, but you also own, obviously, most popular website in Canada for supplement sales. What do you look for in a protein powder?
I think a lot of consumers would look for taste and price. Obviously, taste, it's certainly going to matter because you don't want, back in the 80s, the Chuck just Joe Weider formula, like those days are gone. Like no one will even look at those. And price, it certainly does matter, but always you cannot budget body build. So, you don't really want to skimp out on your protein, but you don't need to go, overly crazy like some of these multi-level marketing companies who charge through the roof for their protein products. You certainly don't need to do that. So a good quality protein for sure. Personally, as a coach, what I look for first is the macros. So I want something that's low in carb, low in fat, high in protein. And then basically, I like to see an isolate as the first ingredient on the list. And you do want to check the percentage of protein. So guys can do that easily by taking the grams of protein, dividing it into the scoop size. And you want to sit around at least somewhere in the 80% range. I think that's a good spot to be. Anything less than that, you got to kind of question. Like if you're around 50% of that scoop is protein, you got to kind of question what you're getting. So.
Very good tips. Okay, so now going into protein needs for people, obviously the more activity you do, the more calories you're burning, the more wear and tear on your body in terms of if you're strength training or obviously bodybuilding or competing, etc. What is your guideline for how much protein somebody should be taking each day?
Well, I think for active individuals, you really want to be around 1 gram of protein per pound, and then you can build from there. So obviously, when you're dieting down, you start, say, a 200-pound guy, and he's got to get down to, say, 170. If you're keeping his protein around 200 grams, if you keep it there steady the whole time, and you get down to 170, hey, that's great. But, it really just depends on the guys. Like I personally, myself, I like to go a lot higher on protein. But it doesn't work for everyone. And at some point too, like if your carbs are low and your fat's low and you're not lean, you got to pull the calories from somewhere and they got to come from protein. But I think a good general starting point is 1 gram per pound.
Very good. Now, in terms of, obviously, we're going to be talking today about gold standard whey, obviously gold standard 100% whey. I always screw that up. But listen, I mean, Optimum Nutrition's been in the game for over 30 years. You've been in the industry forever. You've worked for a lot of different brands doing distribution before you got into the, obviously, SupplementSource.ca. What was your first impression of Optimum's gold standard whey when you first got your hands on it?
Well, when I tried the mixability, because I think really back in the day, that was the first one that came out that you could just mix with a spoon, shake it up in a shaker and go. A lot of the other brands on the market at the time, you had to pull out the blender. And not that that's a bad thing by any means, for sure. But for guys that are active and on the go, you don't have a blender in your car after the gym, right? So it's just nice to have something that mixes easily. And it just mixed like butter, and the hot knife through butter, it was good. It was very good. Taste was great. And I do like the fact that they have a lot of different flavors to choose from too. So taste great, flavoring's great. A lot of different flavor options. So yeah, definitely a good product.
You got 20 flavors globally. Now, not all over here. I actually saw 3 strawberries they have just for England. Who would know?
Isn't it wild? Yeah.
I guess any of the Brits out there, you guys must like your strawberry. But you guys carry 6 flavors that I saw on the SupplementSource.ca website, which is great. These are probably the top 6 that are there. Now, in terms of protein, I mean, when I'm on your website, I see so many different brands to choose from. About how many different protein powders do you guys usually stock? Is that one of your most popular things that people buy?
For sure. Like protein is the foundation of anyone's supplement stack, next to multivitamins. Everyone's going to have a protein powder. And it's funny because you get people who wouldn't even look at a multi, and their go-to is a protein. We have so many different options on the site, whether it be like a concentrate, a blend, or an isolate. Gold Standard certainly leads the way in our protein sales. And what's kind of interesting, Scott, is when COVID hit, obviously all the supplement suppliers took a hit in sales. You know, I don't think we're any different than the competition. We certainly got hit with COVID with a drop in sales, but what we found was protein remained relatively consistent. So it's always, that should just tell you that it is the foundation of everyone's stack. You know, fat burners dropped in sales, pre-workouts dropped in sales, but protein remained level. We didn't really see very much of a drop at all. It's a standard in everyone's fitness plan.
You know, I've been all over the world. I was in Macau, part of China, in Hong Kong, Malaysia, Bali, Germany, England, obviously all over the US. And this is the product that I see everywhere. Yeah. I know that they've been in the business over 30 years and the product's sold in over 100 countries. And a lot of people say, hey, what's the best protein on the market? If you measured the best protein on the market by total sales, these guys would actually be it. And it's one of those things where if you don't have this product on your website, then your website is considered to be a not well-stocked website. It's really that fundamental to the protein category. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. You know, like if you don't have it, there's something wrong because there's just so many people that request it. I know we kind of went away from it for a little bit, and it was like people were, hey, where's this? Where's this? And we brought it back, and the sales are still very, very, very strong. You actually have to have it as a supplier. And what's nice about SupplementSource.ca is you don't have a store employee trying to switch you to a different brand. So you come in looking for ON, 100% gold standard whey, and well, we have it, but we've got this one here, and it sells better, it tastes better. You know, like there's none of that going on with us. So when people come in looking for ON, 100% gold standard whey, or I guess you should say gold standard 100% whey, I guess is the actual term for it, the actual name. There's not going to be someone there switching them over. So you don't have the high pressure sales from someone. So that's what I like about online purchasing. So
that's a lot of the things a lot of consumers don't know is that the person behind the counter actually gets a commission on the actual switch. And we've seen it at the, you know, you go buy a stereo, you go buy a TV, and you think the guy at Best Buy is just being helpful by moving you down in price as he moves you along, and it just turns out that he moves you to the brand that they get more margin on. And there's a lot of kickbacks that happen in retail that a lot of consumers don't know, and that's why I like with your website, you have amazing selection, but you let the shopper decide for themselves what they want. And I saw that you guys have a lot of reviews now that you allow people to do, and you obviously have social media where people can go and interact on the @SupplementSource.ca page. But anyway, let's get on to something you touched on. You touched on blends. You touched on isolate versus concentrate versus blends. What would you say is the benefit of an isolate? Because in Canada here, we're kind of an isolate country, which isn't fair because it kind of dismisses the benefits of a concentrate and a blend.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are stuck in that isolate mentality. It is good, don't get me wrong, for an isolate's typically low in lactose. They're typically lower in fat, lower in carbs, but really, if you're comparing a blend to an isolate and you're like 1 gram of carb or 1 gram of fat away, like really there is no difference, right? And typically, you know, like a blend is going to be a little bit less expensive than an isolate. And that's really, you know, the gist of it right there. You know, like I think Canada is very isolate heavy, like you mentioned, but I think a blend like Optimum, it's a product that people really should be looking at because it is a quality product. And not all isolates, you know, are isolate, as we both know, right? So, you know, I think with Optimum Nutrition's quality, their track record, and we can talk about it later, but, you know, the big dogs are the first ones always to get investigated or looked at under the microscope. And to be honest, I've never heard a claim against Optimum Nutrition, like, oh, your stats don't match, and where you get that all the time in the bar industry. I've never heard that with Optimum.
Yeah, so what we're talking about now, folks, is the amino spiking or protein spiking, it's called. And basically what companies do is they take a low grade protein powder, like a low grade whey concentrate that's high in lactose, high in fat, and they fortify it with straight amino acids. The amino acids that they use are taurine, glutamine, glycine. They'll even use creatine. In fact, 1 gram of creatine lab tests out as 2 grams of protein because it has so much nitrogen in it in 1 gram. And when you analyze an amino acid, it's actually 0 carbs, 0 fat, and it tests out as 100% protein. So it's a really perfect thing to do that, but you could use fertilizer because it's just nitrogen. And the reason why this will work is because the lab test that measures protein amount is actually a nitrogen test. So the higher the nitrogen level, it is perceived to be a protein, but it's actually not. And it's hard for people to understand, wrap your head around that, but if you had a 2-pound tub like I have here, and if 50% of this was a low quality concentrate, and then I just filled the rest with amino acids like glycine and taurine and glutamine, any of those, whatever's cheapest, and I shake it up, and you lab test just for nitrogen, you might assume that this is actually an isolate, because an isolate is almost 0 carbs, 0 fat, all protein. But that amino spiking is a real problem in the industry because companies like Optimum, who are not doing that, are putting an honest product out. And so my point of this is not to poke the bear at any other companies that might be doing this, but really to tell the consumer that quality costs more when it comes to supplements. I mean, and I think with your website, what I like about SupplementSource.ca is you always have really good pricing, but you also have really good products. I'm not just getting the cheapest shit that I can find that I don't really know if it meets label claim. I'm getting premium products like Gold Standard Whey, and I'm actually Amino Energy and some of the other products that are out there, but I'm getting them at a reasonable price. And that's what any shopper should be looking for, is good products at a good price, not the cheapest products at the cheapest price.
Yeah, and coming from a bodybuilding background and a competitive bodybuilding background, and my wife's and I have BB Pro, we can appreciate good quality products at a good price. We get offered cheap products all day at Supplement Source, like brand names you've never even heard of, and you just know there's a lot of funny business going on here, and we turn them away. Like, we just don't want to really carry them on the site. Sure, we're going to grab lower cost items, but they're mostly coming from stuff that might be a little bit short dated, or see a company's going through a label change switch or something along those lines. Those are the products that we typically grab. These no-name ones that you never hear of and you'll never see again, we don't generally touch those. Now, if it's a brand that's just gone under, for sure we're going to look at it. But you get all these wonky ones. It's just funny. Some of the ones that you see out there, you're like, there's no way that this is going to meet label claims. We can't sell this stuff, despite how low they want to go with it. So.
Okay, so I'm going to take a history lesson now of Optimum Nutrition. So this company's been around, as I said, for over 30 years. And what they did in the industry that was really different from a lot of other companies is they decided to buy their own machines to manufacture their own products. And so they built this network of selling supplements to retail stores and websites all over the US and then all over international areas, different countries. But they made it themselves. And by doing this, they could provide a great quality product at a great price because they weren't getting anyone else to make it, and they could control the quality. They were buying their whey protein from, like any supplement company or supplement factory does, they're buying this from a company called Glanbia. Glanbia is one of 4 companies that supplies all of the whey in the world. There's a few other companies in the US and a few in Europe that are doing this as well. But these guys own the dairy farms. If you guys are at home and you type in Glanbia Performance Nutrition, you'll see what I'm talking about, but they make cheese, they make all kinds of different things. They own the cows, the fields, and then processing. So they dry the milk up, they filter it, and they fractionate it out into protein powder, and they have other food sources that go out, probiotics and all kinds of things like that. And so they were selling their protein to a company called Optimum Nutrition, and they kept seeing the order volume going up and up and up and up and up for years. And they ended up in 2008, they actually bought Optimum Nutrition for 315 million US, along with a company called ABB, which makes RTDs and stuff, and a few other products. So by doing that, they become what's called vertically integrated. So they own the cows, they own the processing of the whey, then they own the bottling of it, and then the selling of it. So if you can buy a similar product to this cheaper, it's not possible that it meets label claim simply because they are one of 4 suppliers in the whole world for all of the protein. Now, obviously, so by that, you're getting great premium quality. So when I say don't always shop on price, don't think you're going to be the savvy customer where you look at the back of the label and you say, oh, it has this much grams of carbs, fats, proteins. How do you know it meets label claim? You got to look at the reputation of the company, and this is the #1 selling protein in the world, and they make it themselves, they sell it themselves, so there is no middleman. Okay, so going through now, we want you to sort of talk a bit about your supplement source. You got 6 best flavors there. What does this product price out at?
Right now, we have it on for $79.97. Okay. So that's pretty standard. All the other 5-pounders are at that price. So, you know, you're getting a great deal. And I should mention too, we're probably going to be putting out an email tomorrow to our customers to indicate that there's been a huge price increase in whey protein and creatine. And it's because of COVID and the supply chain issues. So, I haven't seen any prices come through yet from Optimum. So right now, it's going to be a great deal. But pretty soon, you're going to see all the top brands in Canada, the prices are going up. And it's not like a little bit, it's quite a bit. So there's going to be a big sticker shock when people start, come June, end of May, end of this month. You're gonna be pretty shocked.
I also heard it's happening with caffeine anhydrous and creatine.
Creatine for sure. I haven't heard caffeine yet, but for sure creatine we've heard, and we've already seen it. And whey protein, we've seen that from some vendors. And we've got the notification from other suppliers saying, hey, listen, your prices are going up, and the consumer price has to go up too. So
those at home right now, don't just take this as a sales pitch. You should be buying Gold Standard right now. You should be loading up on this because the price will go up. It's just a matter of time. I mean, maybe it won't because they'll obviously control their own dairy. They manufacture it themselves, but at the same time, the protein prices are going up as a whole, and this is a global problem due to COVID-19 and a lot of the other things that are going on right now. Okay, so we're going to go back now, and we're going to put this under the microscope now.
I like it.
Let's go over the macronutrients on this thing. Okay.
Which one do you got? Chocolate or vanilla?
Either one. I mean, let's say this is the double rich chocolate. Okay, I'll hold the facts out. You go over the facts.
So we're looking at 120 calories per scoop, which is a good amount per scoop. The scoop size is about 30 grams, standard in the industry. Total fat is only 1.5 grams. Carbs 3 grams, so really low on carbs. Which only 1 gram is sugar. Protein is 24 grams, and that's standard for a 30-gram scoop. So you're looking at about an 80%, high 70s, so 79, 80% protein per scoop. If you notice too in the ingredients, you won't be able to see from what Scott was holding up, but it is a whey isolate followed by a whey concentrate and then the whey peptides. So you know that the primary ingredient protein source is whey isolate.
Yeah. I like that they disclose the EAA dose. They actually have 11 grams. And these are naturally occurring EAAs. This is the essential amino acids, the 9 that your body needs. So you're not getting additional spiked into this product, which is really key. The other thing about it is it's informed choice certified. Yeah. Informed choice tested. I'm going to touch on that a little bit later after we do our taste test of the importance of this. And it's not for the reasons you think. Like a lot of people are saying, hey, well, I'm not somebody who's subjected to drug testing, so what do I care? But there's a bigger reason for that. So we'll touch on that a little bit later. And it also has digestive enzymes. They have lactase is added to this. And that's really good because some people who have any kind of digestive issues. And as you're dieting or you're not eating as much dairy as you may have done as you were a kid, sometimes you can get an age onset lactose intolerance where the enzymes, the ability for your body to produce enough enzymes is diminished because you consume less lactose. You're not drinking as much milk as you did as a kid, and as you get older, without subjecting your body to the lactose, you end up reducing your ability to process it. So they've actually added it in there, which is a really great, great idea. Okay, so the most important part here, and the part I love about my job, is the taste test. Okay, so
Yes.
let's start here. Let's go with vanilla. Okay, it's open here. Okay, so now it's important that you always check a level scoop here. Don't tell my wife I just touched the rest of the protein powder in this one. Now I'm going to change it up this week. I'm going with a blend.
Nice.
I'm going to go with the Vitamix, which you've been over to my house back in the day, so you know how I roll.
I know. I was jealous, actually. I like that. I like the mixer.
Yeah. So we go here. All right. Now here's a little Scott Welch trick for you guys. Okay, I've done protein shakes for many, many years. What you do is you put the lid.
I know what you're gonna say.
Okay. I can't even get the freaking lid on. I got to do this backwards. It's so hard to do when I'm actually facing it there. All right. Okay, you shake yours. I can't even figure this out.
I'm going to shake mine right here.
There we go. All right. Okay, so you blend it before you put your protein in. You get it mixing. You open it. Dump it while it's actually mixing. It never ever sticks to your glass when you do that. And of course you crank her up. Okay. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
There we go. Okay. Clear. All right, let's look. No chunks here.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
Yeah, there we go. No chunks whatsoever.
Yeah, mine mixed up fine.
Hey, cheers! Cheers! I mean, this is COVID now, we're on lockdown, but here, just did the cheers to Dan.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is vanilla ice cream. It's not just
yeah.
Vanilla.
And I think a lot of companies have an issue with their vanilla flavoring, but Optimum's done a really good job with. And I'm not a vanilla guy, but this is good.
The thing I like about Optimum is it's consistent. You buy one bottle to the next, it's always going to be the exact same flavor. You go to the US and try the US version, it's exactly the same as what you're going to taste in Canada. The consistency is there, and because they make it themselves, they can control all of that. They're not getting fluctuations. Sometimes you get a protein powder where you tried it when you first tried it, you really liked it, and then later on, for some reason, it tastes different. Sometimes companies have to switch manufacturing, especially during COVID. With all the lockdowns and shutdowns, a lot of manufacturers that make the protein are actually having problems. So companies have to use different sources, but not with these guys.
No.
Wow.
Very good.
Years ago, I actually went to the manufacturing facility of Optimum. I went in Aurora,
Oh, really?
and got to tour their manufacturing facility. And you've never seen anything like this.
That'd be pretty awesome.
It was awesome to just see the plant, the quality control. They had the hairnets, the masks, like the whole bit. And they went over the whole system of all the quality control checks that they have. And they even do a supplement university that they were doing for a while, where they actually educate retailers and distributors and brand ambassadors on the quality that goes into every product, which you know, how many companies are doing this education where they teach you the science of protein powder and isolates versus concentrates? And I mean, don't you and I mean, you were at Queens, weren't you?
Western
University.
Yeah.
Don't you wish that they had Supplement University? Like, forget Western University. I went to Ryerson. I just want to go to Supplement University. I mean, like, Forget the everything.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed that Optimum would do something like that. It's a very smart move. Like, I think a lot of companies do that with their reps that are on the road, but I think they would be better served if they just put more like podcasts or more video education pieces for their vendors.
Yeah.
Or leave it open for the consumer. You know what I mean? I think that would build up a lot more consumer trust.
And the consumers are getting smart now. If they're looking into it, they want to know, where is this protein made? They want to know who's behind the great building. It's no longer just what's on the shelf. They want to get to know it. They want to go on the Instagram and their account and see what's the content looking like. Some of the lab tests you can have access to. They want to sort of know more about the product than before. So I think that I'm really glad to be doing this review of Optimum, because Optimum is a premium company, and I like doing that. I like doing this with you because you have a great selection of products. You and I have been friends for years, but you guys do a good job. So I mean, it's not like I feel bad about, oh, here I am pimping this out on a Wednesday afternoon. I use this stuff. I would definitely use it, and I definitely recommend it, even if we weren't doing a review today on this.
No. Quality product, and you just can't go wrong with Optimum.
Okay, so I drank that. How many grams of protein was that again? 24? Yeah, 24 grams.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got, I'm going to have to wash this blender out because I can't have the vanilla interfere with my rich chocolate.
No, you don't want to mix it up with that.
Hang on one second. Okay, you keep the fans engaged.
Okay? I will keep the fans. I will, yeah. So guys, hit us up with your comments and down below there. Let us know what your first protein powder was that you tried. Give us a review of the first one you tried. And let us know too if you've tried Optimum, a gold standard 100% whey. Like Scott said, it's a quality brand, and he would be promoting it regardless. Like, I remember when I went to his house and he was lined up. He had them all up there, and he didn't get this from the company. He had bought this himself. Yeah. So.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice is this gold seal here. And this is to see that it's not counterfeit. In the supplement industry is a big problem, especially overseas. Not a problem in Canada, but counterfeiting is a big problem. So companies like this, they have to put these insulations, these barriers in to prevent the counterfeiters from counterfeiting. But this says authentic. That's how you can tell.
Now we actually, there was a piece a while ago, I think it was over in India or Pakistan or something like that, and they were having an issue, and someone had written about, this is how you tell the real deal from the counterfeit. And like you mentioned, a lot of counterfeiters probably aren't going to go to the expense of adding the old ON standard or the ON gold standard logo on the top there. We had someone ask us about it one time at SupplementSource.ca. And like, we get all our stuff from the official distributor in Canada. There is only one distributor, so we easily proved that, hey, listen, the stuff you got isn't fake. That issue is only over. Like, I've never seen it in Canada. I've never seen it in the States, but I do know it exists overseas. So
yeah. No, it definitely is key. Okay, so we open it up. There it is.
Smells good.
All right. Hang on 1 second.
I'm going to beat you, buddy.
Okay. Okay, now, I got to tell you something. I got a little secret that even Dan Kennedy at SupplementSource.ca didn't know.
Oh, this is going to be good.
You want to know how you can tell if your protein powder could be amino spiked?
I think you told me this before.
It's the color. So if you look closely at this, really closely, you won't see any white specks.
No. Little white flakes, yeah.
Flakes are a good giveaway because there's certain amino acids that don't bind to the actual chocolate or cocoa color on this. It won't work on a vanilla because of the color, but it will work on a chocolate. But if you look at this, you won't see these small little flakes. And if you bend the scoop in the light, you'll see almost a refraction like a shimmering, like glass almost that's there.
Yeah.
And that's a dead giveaway that there's aminos added to this protein powder. I mean, you can lab test it, but it's really difficult because you've got to know exactly what you're testing for, and you've got to know the profile of the amino acid. Like if you're using an isolate versus a concentrate, each of those would have a different amino acid profile per gram. So it's really difficult to test. But anyway, you won't see any of that. No amino spiking with this product, which is key. Okay, so let's get this going. Now, you see my own rule I just broke. I didn't blend.
You broke it, yeah. I just, oh no, Scott, what did you just do?
But you know why I didn't? Because this stuff mixes instantly like we just found, and there's no need. I mean, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. All right. Let's make this thing go. Let's get this fucking thing up, man. Let's crank it up. Let's go to 100. Come on, what's going on here?
No, see, that's pretty quiet. This is where it all goes bad. It goes sprays everywhere.
All right. Hey, this is a COVID lockdown. If I'm forced to work from home, I'm going to have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Oh man, that smells so good.
Crazy. Clean. Okay. Cheers again, Dan.
Another one?
Boom!
Boom.
As Mark Lobliner would say.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome. Totally awesome.
Yeah. They've got, and you know, we carry the double rich chocolate, the extreme milk chocolate, and both are great. Like, you wouldn't think a company would, because I find with a lot of companies, they'll come out with a chocolate and they'll try to make it special by chocolate explosion, chocolate eruption, and it's just chocolate. Like, that's all that it is, right? Whereas Optimum, they've come out with double rich chocolate, extreme milk chocolate, and they're different flavors of chocolate. So that's kind of nice.
What's the difference have you found between the rich chocolate and the double? Is it double chocolate?
Double rich chocolate and extreme. I like the extreme. That's the one that I go for. Just a bit of more like a chocolate milk taste.
Okay. Yeah.
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 And that's still good. Nice and smooth. You know, you can't go wrong with Optimum.
Yeah. I like that you said it's isolate is the #1 ingredient. Second is a concentrate, and then it's whey peptides. So you're going to get a fast digesting whey with very low carbs, very low fat. Then you're going to have a concentrate which has a little bit more carb, a little bit more fat. It's going to be a little bit slower releasing. And then the whey peptides are partially pre-digested, so that's going to obviously be good for rapid absorption and recovery. You know, going to help with your recovery, etc. So, yeah, I mean, this is it. The last thing, I mean, okay, so I mean, honestly, out of 10, if you had to give it out of 10 for the vanilla, let's start with the vanilla. What would you give on the taste test if you had to get out of 10? And you're not a vanilla guy.
10.
So
No, I'm not a vanilla guy, but I like that one. So I would give that one a 10 for sure. The chocolate, I like the extreme milk chocolate. So I would give extreme milk chocolate a 10, and I'd give the double rich chocolate, which we tried today, a 9 or 9.5. But like I said, I like the extreme milk. They're both phenomenal, but the other the competition out there, they're not so chocolatey. You know what I mean? And they're a distant like 7, 6 type of thing. So I think Optimum's done a great job.
yeah, I give these, honestly, I'd have to say a 9.5. I mean, it could go to a 10 if you raise the carbohydrate level and the fat level. That's going to
yeah.
But it's not really fair to sort of say that. But for what this gives you with 4 grams of carbohydrates, only 1 gram of sugar, I think it's 1 gram of fat. Is that right?
1.5.
Okay, yeah, depending on the flavor. It's definitely, to me, a 9.5. Taste-wise is awesome. Value, you guys have it at $79.97, I think, right now.
Yeah.
And you get a free shaker cup, is it?
That's the deal we're doing, yes. So right now, we've got it on the site live right now. Hit the site up. You get one for $79.97, and then we throw in a shaker. So it could be one of these, could be one of those. You know, it's we bought 1,000 shakers for this promo, so we've got lots to go around. That should last us a little bit. And you know, jump on the site, grab one, and you guys can grab a free shaker when you go. And they're not cheap shakers either. They come with a little blender ball inside. This one's got the little carrying thing. Both metal blender balls inside, good quality, BPA free. So we bought 1,000 of them. They're there to give away with this promo.
That should last maybe a day. No, okay.
Yeah. A little longer than a day, but not that long though. So yeah, because our sales are pretty strong, and Gold Standard, it's a strong seller. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So looking at this, we talked a bit about the product, banned substance free with informed choice. Now, one of the things these guys do, informed choice actually tests it when it comes off the assembly line. The company has to ship the first product out to informed choice. Then they actually go into a store and they actually buy the product. And that way a company can't just manufacture the product and then send the good stuff that's going to be claimed. And then
you got to grab the ones off the shelf. Exactly.
So that's really good. And for me, I like that. I mean, I'm open. Obviously, if people want to use banned substances, that's entirely up to them. But if I'm taking a product, I want to know what's on the labels in the product, and something that's not on the label isn't in the product. And a lot of times what can happen is cross-contamination of the raw materials, where it may not even be the protein company. It might be something else that they had, a test booster or a SARM or something like that in the raw material. And so Optimum takes that next step by getting the product tested independently from them. Obviously, they're going to do their own testing, but they're also outsourcing it to a third party, which I see a lot of good companies doing, the informed choice, which is a really nice step in the right direction of obviously improving the quality.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of stepping up their game, but obviously, ON was one of the leaders. They opted to do this, first. They're one of the first guys to do it. So it just speaks to their quality, because it's not cheap to get that certification.
No.
Obviously, Optimum being so big, it's not a huge expense for them, but it speaks to their quality because they're that confident of their formula that it's gonna meet label claims and not have any funny business in it.
Be careful. If you see on the label it just says banned substance free, doesn't mean it actually is.
Yeah.
It means that they didn't put any banned substances in it. But what Informed Choice does, and a few other certifications, NSF and BSCG, these are 3 certifications that are actually testing to see if there's any banned substances in it versus just the company claiming that they don't add any banned substances. So look for that logo, very important. Listen, so we've done it. We've rated it. I mean, overall, we've got price, we've got taste, and we've got, obviously, quality.
Yeah.
And overall, I'd say that this is solid across the board. Quality, I'm going to go with a 10 simply because it's Optimum. They make it themselves. How can you possibly do it? In terms of price, I would, quality costs more. So I'm not going to give them a 10 just simply because there are cheaper products out there. But when you consider that they're selling it for a fair price for the quality of the product, obviously it's going to get a 10 in terms of that. And then in terms of the taste, we went a 9.5, I think, across the board for me anyway, both.
Yeah.
So anyways, pretty good overall score. I'd have to say they're hovering between a 9.5 and a 10. And I think that people really have to realize that you don't shop on price alone when you're evaluating a protein out there.
No, I wouldn't anyways.
Cool. Okay, so listen, on the comments below, tell us if you like this, hated it, what else you want to see from us. We can review other products out there from obviously Optimum Nutrition. And if you hated it, just put that in the comments. You liked it, put it in the comments. And where can fans go to follow and find out more about Supplement Source? Obviously, website, supplementsource.ca. What's your Instagram handle?
SupplementSource.ca.
There you go. And you guys have
What's up on Instagram? We have free giveaways every Friday, so I'm gonna actually hook up with Sylvia, who arranges all that in-house, and we're gonna get something done. We'll put on a giveaway maybe next week. I think this Friday we've already got set, but I'll try to push to get Optimum in there. So maybe we'll throw in some Gold Standard Whey, maybe a Synthesix, and some shakers, and we'll do that as a giveaway maybe next week. So look for that for sure.
Awesome. All right. Okay, this is Scott Welch, Muscle Insider.
Whoa, hold on, buddy. I always have something at the end for you. So I know you're going to put this up on your site. I throw this up on our blog, and I throw a little text version of it in there too, and I'm sure you do that.
Sure.
But also, what I'm going to do is I did a little recipe.
Oh, no.
So I made double rich chocolate. Oh, it's a little melting though right now. Double rich chocolate fudgicles. So I will throw that recipe up.
What is this? The gold standard whey chocolate fudgicle? Is that what it is?
I made that. I'm going to throw the recipe up on the site. I'll give it to you, Scott. You can throw it up on Muscle Insider, and all the fans can go get the recipe. Great, great product. You know, certainly a high protein popsicle, or fudgicle, I should say, because it's not a popsicle. It's not very like crystallized like water. It's more of a fudgicle texture.
Awesome. This is great. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh. It's sad out here. It's sad out here while the whole time we were talking, so it did melt a bit, but it does hold up. So
okay, this is it. So we've got that promo going on right now. $79.97 for a 5-pound.
Free shaker.
The 2-pound is the 5-pound, and then with that, you're obviously going to get a high premium shaker cup, the blender bottle style with the wire whisk in the center. And
exactly. Yeah.
you're supporting a product that obviously meets label claim 100%, which I would stand behind all day long. And obviously getting it from SupplementSource.ca, Canadian company. How long has SupplementSource.ca been around? How many years have you guys been?
Oh, 95, I believe, when we started. Yeah, it's been around for a while. Yeah, the original owner, Daryl Valentine, he actually was in the military, and he used to sell supplements out of the back of his car, you know, out of his trunk. And it just built up from there. So yeah, incredible story.
5, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, this is Scott Welch and Dan Kennedy here, signing off with this review. Thanks for checking this out.
Take care, guys. Don't forget, it's every way. Hit up Muscle Insider for all the industry insider information, reviews, gossip.
The packs.
They got it all.
Don't forget the packs.
Oh yeah, the packs. You got to do the packs too. Okay.
There's the pack.
Take care, guys.
Awesome. See ya.